Hey everyone, welcome back to the Purpose Over Profits podcast. My name is Jeremy Powers, owner of Powers Insurance Experts.
And I'm Jim Floyd, owner of Ascent Total Performance.
Better known as the caster of the visions.
I love some casting.
And some visions. So someone call Jim a visionary. That's definitely me. But what I would say is today we're going to be diving into a fun topic, and that is the art of vision casting. Something that's really important as a leader. As an entrepreneur, you've got to be able to cast that vision authentically and really get to your audience.
Yeah, and I want to start with a quote, and this is from a guy that I've gotten to know a little bit recently. He's a PT. He has this kind of own coaching kind of thing, but one of the things that I'm really going to steal his quote is he talks about creating a vision that's so big that others can fit within it and be inspired by that. And so vision, it doesn't have to be vision needs to be a big thing. This is where we're going. This is what we get excited about. It's not these little small goals kind of thing.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And ultimately you have to cast to catch.
Yeah.
You have to cast to catch, and how big is the net that you're casting?
Yeah.
That's really what comes back to me is without casting, there is no reward.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to dive into today. I think the art of that and properly conveying that message, man, it's such a necessary thing. I feel like everything's necessary for today's world, but it is. And that's just the honest truth. And so really, as we dive into this topic, we really have three key areas of focus as we try to each week, try to give you areas of action. And that's really number one is just being able to clarify your vision.
Yeah. If you don't know what you want, it's going to be hard to cast that out to your staff. So you really need to really kind of get down to what do you really want out of your business?
That's right.
And where are you going? Where do you want to go?
Well, being able to sell a product or build a team or create an organization, if you can effectively communicate that to the people that you need to inspire, my favorite quote is, I'll get you ready to charge hell with a water pistol. I'm just going to forget what time we're going, so you got to come and pick me up, is so true, because if you can inspire people to change, to invest, or to join alongside you in the conquering of the castle, man, that is such an important thing. But if you don't have the ability, if you're just like, hey guys, we're going on Tuesday, hope to see you there, you're probably going to be alone.
No. And so this vision should be something that when you're talking about, you get excited about it. You're that's what gets you pumped up.
Braveheart.
Yeah. Already blue paint on your face, all that stuff ready to go. Hopefully you don't
I think you probably showed up to a meeting or two with blue paint on your face.
Yeah.
That is your company colors.
Yep. So, but it really does need to be this big thing that you're passionate about and you're excited about. And that's exuded out of you whenever you're talking about it, because that's what's going to create the buy-in. That's what's going to create those people that want to come alongside you in accomplishing that vision and being a part of that. If it's something where it's I guess this is what I want to do. That's not your vision.
That's it. And I think that if this is something that you're getting ready to embark on, I want to give a quick shout out to Greg. He's one of our listeners of our podcast, and, I've had the chance to talk with him, and he's getting ready to open a business. And that business is going to be, it's taking a lot on him and his family, but he's ready to take it. And man, he has talked about how much his podcast has meant to him, ultimately how much you have meant to him, because he's following in your footsteps, and so ultimately it's really great to know that we're making that impact on others. But this is something that he's going through right now. You've got to be able to sit down. You've got to be able to properly articulate your short-term goals, your long-term goals, but most importantly, you've got to be able to articulate the impact that you want to have.
Yeah.
Man, that is so important. We've talked about it before, but if that impact, if it doesn't exude passion, you better get back to the drawing board.
Absolutely. It's the biggest thing with that is you've got to be excited about what you're doing. You're going to fail if you don't.
That's right. That's right. And, with that, when we're talking about short-term goals, long-term goals, it really leads into step number 2, and that's align your goals and your actions.
Yeah. And so we've got this big grand vision of what we want to do that we're excited about it. So we talked about in previous episodes about working backwards from those things. So we got to think about what are going to be the things that help us to accomplish this grand vision that we have. And so we got to work backwards from that. And we got to break it down into these attainable things, because it can't be something like, we're going to go to the moon and that kind of thing. Was like, okay, well, how do you do that?
That's right.
So you got to be able to break it down into these easily doable steps, because that's what's going to make you establish momentum with getting things done, and also make it to where your staff are going to be believing, is this an attainable vision, or is this something, we're just shooting for the stars, but we don't have a plan to be able to get there.
That's right. And it's not only the rocket ship to get you to the moon. It's like, do you have the proper gear so you can breathe when you get there?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so many times people focus on the product to get you there, but then you have no plan or no vision for when you arrive.
Yeah, and, well, that's the exciting part. You're just thinking about deciding, hey, this is where we're going. Let's go do it. And then we forget about, like, how do you actually get there?
That's 100% true.
And maybe not the most exciting things with that, but absolutely necessary.
And this doesn't have to be for a business that's starting tomorrow, like we just talked about. And but for my organization, once again, I love to just unpack it, and really, if we could turn the camera, you guys could see what's going on in our office right now. Ultimately, we're talking about hard times, a hard market, things like that. We're really having to look at it and say, okay, we went from maybe we're getting 100 renewals a month. We used to have to contact 20 of those, because maybe someone got a speeding ticket, or someone's dwelling on their home, or their roof age is XYZ. Now, if we have 100 renewals, we're calling 103 people. We don't know where the heck the 3 additional people came from, but we're just calling them. You know what I mean? And so it is all hands on deck. So what we've had to do is say, hey, we're in a position right now where, like we talked about last episode, collaboration is key. So let's have a meeting, let's have an all hands on deck, and let's learn what can we do. And so what we learned through that is there's about 3 hours a day automation, not customer, non-service related automation, but like things that would enhance the customer experience, but also help us not have to create tasks and do things that automation could do for us. So we're actually having to go back and say, hey, what's our why? Yeah. What's our purpose? Okay, if this is our purpose, like you said a moment ago, how do we work back from that? Yep. We can't change the state of the things are. We know this is what our team is. How can we operate where we're not killing ourselves, but where we're also being able to give the best experience that we can, also while weeding out the clients that don't respect what we bring to the table? Because remember, in hard times and in moments like this where you're setting these goals, it's so easy to forget you're not meant to work with everyone. Yeah. And I just want to shout that from the rooftops. We're not meant to work with everyone. You have a reason and a purpose. Find those people who appreciate that. Yeah, and so I really love that tenet of your goals and your actions need to align with what that greater vision is. And so if they don't, then you're probably working on the wrong things. And so we actually had a staff meeting earlier this week, and I was kind of outlining really kind of our bigger vision with some different things and kind of where we're going over the next multiple years, all those kind of things. And one of the things that I was abundantly clear about is that I am being very intentional now about how I spend my time, what I'm doing to push towards that vision, and then also being very intentional about who do we bring into our organization. Of those people need to believe in what we're doing and where we're going and all that kind of stuff, and being really big sticklers now. Whereas in the past, when maybe hiring somebody, it was little less asking questions and all that kind of stuff. And we have an awesome staff, and we'll continue to do that. But now even leaning into that more of like, this is absolutely what we're doing. I'm laying it out there from the start too, of like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. If that excites you, awesome. That's it. If not, if that makes you nervous, it's probably not the best fit. And so being very intentional about that. And so where that aligns with how we're doing things, where our goals are, short-term, medium-term, long-term goals, that alignment, are those things aligned with where we're getting to our visions? And then are our daily actions aligning with working towards that vision too? That's it. And I think that one of the things I would say I respect so much about you is that you practice what you preach, and you're willing to have these tough conversations. But ultimately, real employees and people that are part of the team, they appreciate that. Yeah. Not everyone wants rainbows and butterflies. They want to be pushed. They want to be inspired. They want to know, like, hey, are you really behind this? When the rubber hits the road, is it actually going forward? You know what I mean? And so I think sometimes we get a little nervous, like, can we really have that conversation? Can we really do that? If it's something you're passionate about, and if it's the vision of your business and it's what you want to do for people, man, you've got to inspire either change in
Yeah.
their career path
Yeah.
or inspire people to continue taking steps forward
Well,
with
and
you.
it's really interesting. And I've had a bit of a shift in how I lead some too, of realizing that not everybody's going to be on board
Mm-hmm.
with what I'm doing and where we're going and all that kind of stuff. And that's an okay
Yeah.
thing. But also, and that's not a reflection of me personally or anything like that. It's also, they're not at a point in their life where they're bought in or they don't believe in the same things. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But the people that I want in our organization are ones that wholeheartedly believe in where we're going and are going to push and all that stuff too. And I'm not shy about that.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, it'd be like, I want to be nice and I want to do all that stuff. And absolutely, I'm still going to do that.
Sure.
But it's more of a thing of, this is where we're going. I'm very clear about, this is where we want to go. This is what we want to accomplish and all that stuff. If you're on it, absolutely, let's do it. If you're not, that's okay. But it's not going to be.
I think this is something that I would humbly say about both of us, and it's very rare to give myself a compliment, but I will in this moment. I believe that we cast a vision well enough and we bring in the right people that it creates opportunity and buzz where the right people want to join our organizations.
Yes. Yeah.
In a world where, I don't know if you're in the same boat I am, where everyone on my Facebook pages that I'm in for agents are talking about how hard it is to find a team.
Yeah.
And how hard it is to bring in staff. And I'll be transparent. We get at least 1 to 2 calls a week.
Yeah.
And man, I'm going to tell everyone no, but if you say something that really impresses me, then we're going to have a talk. You know what I mean? And like, we'll go through that process. But I think that's what we want for you, is when you're authentic and when you bring in the right people and you're not scared to step on toes because you truthfully want what's best for your team, because you want what's best for your end product, which may be your patients or your customers. It creates an atmosphere where winning wants to collaborate with winning.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I really echo that, because I see that all the time in our profession about everybody's having a hard time hiring staff and all that stuff. And I'm kind of sitting back and I'm like, hey, we've got 3 more people lined up just ready to go, and we have the opportunity to be able to do it. And so and I think that speaks to creating a place that people want to be, and that they believe in your mission of creating a better overall experience insurance wise, and our mission of showing there's a better way to do healthcare and all that kind of stuff. And you're going to attract those people that aren't satisfied with just the regular kind of stuff.
I'm having all these quotes that are coming to me today, but it's culture and industry impact beats Indeed any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Culture and community impact beats Indeed any day of the week, because people, and I'm not saying anything against Indeed or these jobs, but like I want people that want to be a part of my organization because they want to join a winning team, because of the way we treat our staff and the way I'm so thankful that my staff will post these things, like these long gushy messages, and they're like, man, I love my job. I love this. I love that. Like, man, it makes me so proud, because when I wrote out what my business was going to be, it was going to be a business that loved the people that were a part of this organization. And whenever things are going crazy and we have that one thing that we can win, like we were joking about in chaos, like, the profits might not be there, but the purpose better fill the void. Because when the profits aren't there, the purpose is what fills your heart. Yeah. And like, that's what's going to keep you pushing through that. And so as we step into number 3, which is really just communicate with authenticity. Yeah. And what comes to my mind is, don't be that unauthentic fortune teller, but be an authentic storyteller, a vision caster. Yeah. Because a good vision caster is truthfully someone that can articulate a story that just calls you to take that step forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really enjoy leaning into that, because, my staff jokes a lot about, I get on a soapbox all the time and all that kind of stuff. Cause I'm passionate about the things that we're pursuing and all that kind of stuff too. And so I'm happy to talk about those things, but they also recognize that it's coming from an authentic place, because I recognize what needs to change. And I always tell myself, it's like, who better than us to be able to do that? And, but when it comes from that place of being passionate and truly believing in what you're doing, it's really easy to be authentic in your communications. And when you've got the staff on board that are receptive to that and believe in that too, it's such an easy thing because you've got captive audience and all that. And so it's just a really fun thing.
Yeah. Well, you think about a story, you think about a movie. What's the one most common thing in every movie? A cast.
Yeah.
There people play roles. And so as you're telling this story and as you're building your brand and as you're casting this vision, man, Jim, this is where we're going to create this podcast and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And we're going to inspire the world to be better leaders. And Jim, what you're going to bring to the table when you talk about this and the way you lead and the way you talk about how to actually articulate processes in a business. And Daniel, the way you're going to develop this and you're bringing people into the vision. You're telling a beautiful story. Every story has a cast.
Yeah.
So you have to create this is the story, but here are every single, just like a movie has a plot, it has the plot twist, it has the climax, it has all these things. You have to break down the story into measurable goals, but then you have to also take the time and let the people that you value, that chose to help you build your organization, you have to show them where they play a role.
Yeah.
Because every person in the movie means something to the movie. You know, like Batman without the butler, it's not as cool. It's not as good. Yeah, Batman was the one saving the world, but at the end of the day, it's every character, the good, bad, and the ugly, plays a part in the role in the story of your organization.
Yeah. Alfred, he played a big role.
That's right.
Yeah.
Alfred was the man.
Why do we fall?
I'll tell you what, Alfred, Jim is wanting to go off on all these movie tangents, and so I'm just playing into his world. We talked about this. We joked about it on social media because, man, I'm not a big movie guy, definitely not a musical guy, but The Greatest Showman, it just hits in a different place in my heart.
Yeah.
You know, the one that the side that's in the darkness, you know, that never gets seen, it like casts light on it. And man, we are definitely going to bring to life when you said, let's do a series on that.
Greatest Showman.
We're going to make it happen, you know, and then people are going to think I like musicals when that is unfortunately not the case for me. My wife tries. She tries indeed. But man, how great is this? And I think that's something that I can see when you talk about it, you can see you have to exude. This podcast, it wouldn't be what it is. We wouldn't have been blessed to be up for the awards and the things you are if we were just doing it to try to make a profit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? We could just both go to work for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we want to inspire you, the people that choose to listen and take this in. You have the ability and the people that you surround yourself with to make an impact that we never could. And so what if we would just love our neighbor, love our staff, love the people, the patients, the clients that we come into contact with, because our vision is so structured and is so properly articulated to our team that we can't lose.
Yep.
And I mean, what a difference could we make in our community? So I would just ask you today, don't be the unauthentic fortune teller who has no clue what's really going to happen. Be the authentic storyteller, and let's just watch what happens when that vision that you cast is a net that's so big that you don't know what to do with it, and you have to bring in more people to pull it up to shore. Thank you, guys.